Hi everyone, and welcome back to another super quick and super simple world painting tutorial. Today I'm going to go over blending between biomes, and to do this I'm going to demonstrate blending between plains and snowy mountains and plains and deserts. The reason I'm showing you these two in particular is because the principle you see here can be applied to most biomes to blend them in a fairly neat fashion. Before we get started, I just want to mention that I'm going to be using a map height of 80. This is largely because I find biome blending works best using height variance as a means to swap between different biomes. You'll see more what I mean as I work on this tutorial. So, to begin with, I'm going to work on building the terrain, and to do this I'm going to raise up this half of the map to be a level of 100 and keep this at a height of 80. For more information on building snowy mountains, you can check out my snowy mountain tutorial, which I'll leave a link to at the end of this video. Okay, so we now have some fairly simple mountainous terrain and plains terrain. During the build phase, I raised this half of the map up to level 100. The reason for this is that we now know that everything on this half of the map is at least 20 blocks different in height to this point. I then used the above and below setting only on grass blocks to paint snow on every block above layer 110. This means we now have 30 blocks difference between the snow and the grass with which to blend. Blending into the snow layer should now be a reasonably simple job. We want to turn off our atom below setting and turn on our gradient setting, setting it to 25 degrees. We want to keep the grass setting on so we don't overwrite any of our rock and stone layers. So now just click over the grass and it should give you this nice gradient where the snow blends into the grass. To show you this properly, I'm now going to go in game and give you an example of how it looks. So, as you can see here, we now have a far more natural gradient of grass blending into snow. Without doing this, we would have more of a hard line, which would look far less natural. To improve this further, I would suggest placing down fir trees. For this next blend, I'm going to use a cliff to transition from a plains biome to a desert biome. The setup for this is going to be very similar to how we designed the mesa in the previous tutorial. Here I'm going to start from a height of 62 and increase the height to 80 on this half of the map. To make the desert more accessible, I'm just going to use the flatten tool on a low intensity to create a smooth gradient from the level 80 ground to the level 62 ground, as so. I just find this makes nice little paths for players to move between different biomes when they need to. Now this is a fairly simple way of transitioning from one biome to another. To improve this further, I would recommend in the place of a grass biome using a mesa biome or a savanna biome. Other places I've used this version of transitioning in the past is to convert from a grass biome to a swamp biome. To give you a better example of how this might look, I'm going to quickly open a previous map I've made and show you some examples of where I've used this. Okay, so here you can see a nice example of what a mesa to desert blend might look like. The ultimate idea here is to reduce the hard lines between one biome and another. The less of this you have, the more natural a map looks. Here we can see another example of using cliffs to move from a plains biome to a swamp biome. Ultimately, the main goal is to have a smooth transition from one biome to the next, and there are many different ways to achieve this. This tutorial has shown you the main two ways that I find are the best to use for moving between biomes. I hope this tutorial has been useful, and if you have any questions or any suggestions for your own ways to transition between biomes, please make any comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.